Alright guys, we just want to do a couple quick videos talking about the gear that was used during Waypoint Ironclads. We got a lot of PMs, a lot of questions and stuff like that, so I figured we'd run down not just TAD stuff, but some of the other things that were used like gloves and boots. In terms of packs, two main packs that were used were the Fastpack Lightspeed and the Fastpack EDC. Get a lot of questions on this one in particular. This is my personal one, just kind of did some custom webbing to two-tone it up. You guys can if you've got multiple packs that are different colors, you can switch out the bits and pieces to get a custom look like this. OP1 on the front, put the our zipper pulls on there just to give a little bit of extra grip and cut some weight down. And in the OP1, use it for navigation, flashlights, things like that. We'll go over that in a little bit later. On this particular side, we have the Theorem Cell Vault Extra Large and the Theorem Cell Vault just the regular. And this one was more of a field kit. This one was spare batteries. The way these work, just open them up, you get your batteries to come out. These were for the GPS unit in case we needed extra juice. And then on this side we were running an S1 just for a Leatherman Mutt multi-tool. And then this was our RDDP1, which is just a rapid deployment dump pouch that you could deploy to pick up trash that we found on the trail or anything like that. So that was the Fastpack Lightspeed, one of them that was in the pictures that was used. And then the Fastpack EDC, the one in the pictures used was standard multicam. This is multicam black. Pretty much the same kind of setup. The main differences being the EDC is bigger. You have a dedicated laptop compartment with this roll top compartment here in the back. And then you've got these side compartments here, so you can do water bottles, extra gear, things of that nature. And then you have these, we refer to them as flashlight caves, but it's basically a reverse pocket from that side one where you could hang equipment on lanyards and things like that. So a lot of the guys, it was about 50-50 split. A lot of guys used this one, a lot of guys used the Lightspeed. All right, next guys, we're going to talk about the boots that were used. There were all kinds of boots used, but these were the two main popular ones amongst the guys. The Salomon XA3 Ultra 2s. These are pretty popular in kind of the outdoor adventure crowd. Gore-Tex version, so it's going to repel water and mud and all that stuff. As you can see, these are pretty beat up. Got a pretty good tread on them there. And then the other ones that we get a lot of questions about are the Loa Zypher. These are the Desert Zyphers, non-Gore-Tex. These work great. They give you a little bit of extra protection. I feel like a little bit more protection than the Solomons. But they're pretty much out of the box, ready to wear, extremely comfortable. And why that's important on this particular adventure was we were in and out of the trucks all day long. And so having a boot that was comfortable, whether it was a couple of hours behind the steering wheel, but equally comfortable on the hiking trail, this was a great little mix of that. So those were the two popular choices that most of the guys were using on the trail. All right, next we were going to talk about the gloves used. Three main types of gloves that were used in the adventure. The Petzl Cortex gloves, which are basically just a great leather glove. They're a belay glove. But it's good for getting out of the trucks, picking up logs, picking up debris in the trail, or when you have to work under the truck, you have good dexterity. But they don't have a lot of protection on the top, but there's a lot of flex and a lot of give, so they're pretty comfortable to wear getting in and out of the trucks. The Outdoor Research gripper gloves, the temperature was about 32 degrees with some mild wind. These have the wind stopper in them. So these were used by one of the guys. You do have good dexterity and warmth, but they weren't great for the water that we were experiencing. And then lastly, a lot of guys were using the Magpul breech gloves. These are great. They're leather, they're fleece, they have knuckle protection, and these were kind of the middle of the road all around good glove to use. Again, getting out of the trucks, moving trail debris, and then once we got down into the plane crash, we were moving aluminum and titanium and things like that around, like sharp, jagged edges. So these were good kind of all-around protection. They weren't insulated, but the little bit of fleece that's on them was good enough for what we were experiencing. So in terms of navigation, there were two types of navigation that were used. We used the HEMA Maps app on our iPads. A lot of the trucks had this equipped. This is good for navigation in the vehicles, so you can leave it plugged in. This is just encased in a life-proof case. It's an iPad 2. with the HEMA Maps app. And then when we were actually on the move, a lot of us were either using the Garmin map, what is this? This is a 62S, or they were using an InReach system. So this is good because if it dies, you can just replace the batteries. Like I showed you, carry the spare batteries in that Theorem cell vault. This one don't really take on or take out of the vehicle, because if it does die, then you need to run a cable and a solar charger and all that other stuff. So in-truck navigation, in-pack navigation. So there were two types of timepieces that were used amongst the team. There were 3 to 4 members using the Redux watch, which is an all titanium cased Seiko movement automatic. And then some guys were using smartwatches and electronic Sunto watches. The team really prefers to use automatic stuff when in the field because the battery doesn't die, and as long as you wear it, it keeps telling you the time. Whereas the smartwatches do give you more data, but you have to either carry extra batteries with you or carry a charger. If you're in the field, that's a solar panel and cables and all that other stuff. And if it dies, you not only lose time, you lose navigation and all the data that you're trying to house in one unit. So there's pros and cons to both, but the popular choice for Waypoint Ironclads was Redux, and it was the Type A and the Type B, which is what you see here, that they offer. So the two main outer shells that were used during the adventure was the Stealth Hoodie LT and the Raptor Hoodie. Both are fully seam tape waterproof shells. The main difference is that the Raptor Hoodie is a hard shell, Stealth Hoodie is a soft shell. The Raptor Hoodie is lightweight, highly breathable, highly packable, so it's great for urban use and moderate trail use if you're just hiking and things like that. The Stealth Hoodie is extremely robust. You have reinforcements on the forearms and the elbows. This is for more extended use in the field if you're crawling, climbing, getting more hands-on, and it's better for long-term exposure to rougher elements. So again, Stealth Hoodie LT, Raptor Hoodie. And rounding out the gear used for insulation, the perfect piece that was used during this was the Javelin Insulator. Javelin Insulator is kind of a hybrid between our Equilibrium Hoodie and our Vortex Hoodie. So in the core of the body and coming up around the shoulders, you have Polartec Alpha insulation, but then you have the Polartec Power Grid on the sleeves, the hood, and the back. So that still retains warmth but lets it breathe. And so this was great because when we were wearing our backpacks in, on the back it was breathing but yet keeping us warm and drying fast. And then when the wind was hitting us in the front, we had some wind protection. We also had that warmth retention from the Polartec Alpha. So then we would throw a Raptor Hoodie or Stealth Hoodie on top of this just to keep the debris and the brush and the rain off. But then if we got a little too hot, we would just unzip that outer layer and let this breathe out. So it was the perfect choice for this particular adventure. So there are a couple different pants used. The first pair that we'll talk about are the Force 10s. They come in two variations, the AC and the RS. RS being ripstop, AC being amphibious cloth. The amphibious cloth is good for more warmer climates and wet environments. And the RS, which was used in this particular adventure, is ripstop. It's more for abrasion, hard field use, things like that. The reason why these are great for just kind of general everyday adventures, you have multiple pockets, multiple attachment points to put your tools, your GPS, your maps, your cell phone, and things like that. You have multiple stash pockets where you can drop in equipment and it's retained in the pouch. You have inserts for knees, so if you know you're going to be getting down on your knees a lot or going over rough terrain, you can put various different types of inserts in for knee protection. And like I said, this was the main one used, the Force 10 RS. The other popular pair of pants that were used were the Vector SC pant. These are our waterproof four-way stretch. It's made of Scholler Symbiote cloth. These are made in the same factory as our Stealth Hoodie LT. The reason why these are great for kind of everyday hiking, again, you have that four-way stretch. They're super lightweight. They don't have the abrasion resistant that the Force 10 RS pants do, and they don't have as much cargo capacity, but they do have these low-profile cargo pockets. And these are great for extended time in the vehicle when you're sitting down behind the steering wheel. You don't have all that equipment shift down to the sides and potentially get up under your legs, which can become uncomfortable over time. So for long-term extended use in the car or traveling or just general hiking and wet weather, these are exceptional.